Good afternoon, my good friend. Good afternoon, America. Good afternoon, everybody from anywhere on this big planet. Once again, thank you very much for listening to this YouTube video. I do have quite an interesting show for you today. First, let's talk about the title. Boris Johnson is reptilius infected and was moved to the intensive care. I don't know how many of you have read or heard me when I told you that specific sign of the zodiac were more prone to attract coronavirus than others. I mentioned Gemini, Sagittarius, of course, Cancer, and Capricorn. That is, again, if you bought the ebook Nostradamus Forecast, I give you very specific month-specific timing and specific signs and all sorts of information at the personal and universal level. So let's start with Boris and why I'm not exactly super positive about Boris. First, he was born with a stellium in the sign of Gemini, okay? And you can see, sad enough, the tail of the dragon is in the sign of Capricorn, and it's right on his 8th house of death. So that is not a good omen at all when it comes to beat the coronavirus. Also, Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn in Pisces very much depicts a natural attraction to infectious organism and ending up in a hospital. Furthermore, we also have on the 6th house of health and work, the current SOS to the world deadly window is about to move right in this house. This is the house of health and the house of work. And that's why he is currently, of course, in a hospital and probably battling for his life. So again, there is much more information about the UK Prime Minister. You will have to go into the newsletter. The link is there for you to read the rest of the story. And I do believe in miracle. I do believe in the power of prayer. So hopefully this nasty dragon stimulated by the reptilians will not take him away. All right, another more positive news for you. Yesterday, I did the Global Consciousness Summit with Marla Lewitt-Goldberg and with Mike, which was in Australia. And it was fantastic. I mean, from what we discussed, the information I divulged, the way I channeled the record was absolutely out of the ordinary. So again, you will be the judge of my words once you listen to this incredible channeling, answering all sorts of questions by those two guys. So the link will be in that newsletter, and then you will have to come back and you will have to click on it so you can listen to it. It's about an hour, but it's definitely well worth your time. The other news is that the other TV show that has been produced is in the last part of editing. So you will be able to listen to the other TV show where I am the prime actor. Is called, of course, I Want to Believe. And you can click on the link, and please, once you watch it, you can rate this first movie. The second one, where I'm the main actor, is not yet available. And again, it will be offered to you once I get the link. Please rate those movies because those guys are working very hard. You can also rate the movie about Bigfoot if you're into Bigfoot, and entertain yourself and try to forget the hell we're in, the hell that's been created. Now, in that newsletter that I just mentioned, I show you the chart of Boris Johnson, which is his UCI, and the same chart is in that newsletter for you to evaluate if you are into Nostradamus Divine Astrology. All right, so now there is something interesting I'd like to do. I'd like to test you. I like to state to test your psychic energy, your psychic power. So what I'm going to ask you is very simple, is to focus, empty your mind, okay? Take a deep breath and focus on what I'm going to say next. All right. What I'm going to say to you is very simple. In your mind, okay, I want you to picture a number between 1 and 10. Now, this number has to be in your brain. All right. Now, once you get that number, you have it. You have the number. Okay, between 1 and 10, you have that number. Okay, now I want you to erase it, completely erase it, and pick another one. All right, you have the other one? Okay, now what you're gonna do, you're gonna go into that newsletter that I just wrote, and you're gonna go and see if you got that number in the first time or in the second time. All right, and if you did, you definitely vibrate at my cosmic speed. And if you don't, do not be upset or think less about your own psychic power, okay? It is because maybe the reptilians do not want you at that point in time to connect with me. So that's a little game to make things interesting. There is more coming, another one that I'm going to do later on. So again, I want you to realize one piece of news that is so very important. Some teens were charged with hate crimes for attacking a woman, saying that she caused the coronavirus. Okay, now this happened on March 28th. Now, if you have heard Kerry Cassidy's show, and if you made notes, which I would doubt very much, you will know that I gave you the date of the 27th, or this nasty ex-SOS to the world deadly window was dead on. And if you remember my word, I said, be careful what you say, what you do, where you go, because whatever you say, what you do, and where you go, especially what you do, will follow you for the rest of your life. We are moving, we are already into the same type of deadly plutonic windows, my friend. So be cautious, be careful of what you do, what you say, where you go, because you are extraordinarily vulnerable right now. And I don't want you to be part of the statistics, because the reptilians are after you. So the sad reality is that those kids were obviously reptilius infected, but you might want to ask yourself, are they listening to their parents? Because blaming the kids is not exactly appropriate, because teen psyche is not exactly developed just yet, and then they are always fueled by deep emotions. And you know my philosophy in the eternal battle between logic and emotion, or fears for that matter in this case. Now, emotions and fear will override critical thinking and logic. So those kids were just victimized in the name of ignorance, simple as that. So now, were their parents, were they racist? Are the parents endorsing Trump's endless anti-Semitic words on national TV? And again, remember, this is not an attack against the president. My work is not politically oriented, it's spiritually oriented. I'm trying to pass on a message here, so don't kill the messengers. Hear me. Now, are those kids and their parents sharing the same fear or the same nefarious Sagittarius dragon's tail as their president, and endorse his idea to build a big, huge wall to imprison, to jail the US, to keep its residents safe from a foreign invasion? Wait a minute here. I guess President Trump's wish to build this wall and to keep us away from foreign people definitely is reached. He has accomplished his wish. But again, remember, my friend, it's not a physical war. It's an hidden enemy, and much, much worse than the real war. I gave you a lot of tangible information in the global consciousness show that I did yesterday. Okay, and soon you will learn much more once I give you the link. But meantime, you can also go back to many of my videos where I literally, reckon in your head that President Trump, UCI, and his fears are induced, and because he's the most powerful man in the world and the top of man on the planet, with regimenting the top country in the planet, it's normal that all the racists in the world are responding to his words. And that generate a superconscious in time and space that focus their thoughts like a laser beam that ultimately create viruses that no scientist can understand what it is or where it came from. Or they're going to give you their, logical, rational views and understanding of what it is or where it came from. They're going to find a victim, an animal, a bat, or God knows what. Okay? Doesn't mean that there's no reality in all that our scientists are doing, but it's well past their 5 limited human rational senses. And then same with you. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm trying to say, but the German put Hitler in power, yet they didn't know that his combined racist thought would kill millions and millions of people and inflict pain and losses and destroy their own country in that process. All the German people were racist. And that led to anything else, the war. It's got to start somewhere. Now, the war doesn't have to be physical. It can be psychical. It could be turned into a virus, not just nukes or weaponizing the weather. All right. My friends, ultimately, it is only if you understand me and if you share my work that more and more people are going to become much more aware of their thought power or their creative forces, the forces that they were born with, and the forces that God has enslaved every one of you to actually understand, including the scientists. So, my friends, just keep reading, keep listening, keep watching my videos. Wait for the next show that I just did, and then wait for the next film that will be available soon. Then you're going to learn more and more about the power of the subconscious and those nasty entities that share and curse our solar system. All right, let's do something else. I don't know how many of you have dealt with the Tarot de Marseille, but again, you don't have to be with me. I want to test. Like you test your temperature, I want to test the type of energy that is currently affecting the world. Now you have 22 cards in this deck, okay? And these are the 22 major arcades of the Tarot de Marseille that was practiced by Nostradamus. And the minor arcades were added later on, and actually it's an offense to read the tarot with the minor arcade. And you can only read the tarot by having a specific table, by being taught properly. So I'm going to use my left hand. I already cut it, okay? And I'm going to put a card. I don't know what it is, and you're watching me, okay? So I'm putting a card, and then this card's going to give me an energy that I have to translate for you. Like you, I don't know what it is just yet. So I'm going to show it to you first. And you know what that is, my friends? That is the card of astrology. That's the sign of Aquarius. That's a message for you to pay attention to the stars. This is not a game. This is not me choosing and picking a specific card. You watched me. This is what came up. The world should pay more attention to the stars, and slowly but surely those stars are moving in our favor. This is the world of Aquarius. Me, I was born in February. The jar represents the accumulated wisdom that is into the universal mind or the cosmic code. I went there I got these messages from God Cosmic Design. I put it in the jar and I translate it for you. And the jar coming and the water coming out of the jar is me giving you this cosmic wisdom, giving this cosmic wisdom to a very thirsty world, which has been religiously poisoned. Because as you all know, all religions were created by the reptilius, because religions create conflict, death, and chaos more than all coronavirus combined together. So understand this deep mystical knowledge. Next time I do a video, I might have to pick up another card for you. If you like it, just let me know. Yeah, Dr. Chewy, I'd like you to do that again. And then we're going to check it. So I do this at the universal level. But when I have a client and he pulls 12 cards, imagine the depth of information that this person is getting. Okay. And I tell you what, I get so much and so many good endorsements about my work that I can't, it's not even worth it for me to share it with you, because you already know I'm real and my work is solid. All right, my good friends, one more time, understand that those kids who have beat that lady is the final result of what those kids have been through, or what those parents have been through. And that was stimulated and fueled by the most powerful man in the world. And that is coming down to produce fear, emotions, blaming people that have nothing to do with coronavirus, and most of all, stimulating all those racist thoughts that have now transformed and translated into coronavirus. Not sure if you'll understand me. Not sure if we will be able to assimilate my work, but I can only try, and hope you do. Until then, make it a beautiful evening. Today I went, by the way, to those of you, you know that I'm going to join the front line. I'm going to be driving again. I might be here for another few days because I've been tested for drugs. I don't do drugs, so, and I sign all the paperwork, and I'm going to be driving again very soon. So all your prayer and your good wishes, as many of you have mentioned, are very well appreciated. And I thank you for that. And I'm returning this to you. Be safe. Wash your hands. Keep your distances. Okay? Wear a mask. And most of all, do not fear. Do not fear. Because science today, and as always, I'm well ahead of them, has announced that fear is what reboost coronavirus to come back into people who already have kicked it out. So I know what I'm talking about. Do not fear. Trust God. Trust the universe. Trust the Draconis. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. I'm here to help you and to guide you during those incredible, difficult times. And we will go through this. In fact, the card that I pulled today is a really, really good omen. Once this nasty SOS to the world, deadly Plutonic window goes out, and a lot of people are going to go in the process, then I believe, we might be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. All right. Good night to all of you, my good friends. God bless all of you. Bye-bye.